Hello, welcome to McFarland's Corner. I'm Michael McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide, and today I'm going to give you the Lake Fork Daily Rundown for Thursday, May 28th, and today, Friday, May 29th. First, let's talk about the lake. Water temperature parameter. Remember when I talked about this board, the temperatures, clarities, and level, that this is the main body. This is not up any of the creeks. This is the main central body. In the main body on Thursday at the crack of dawn, it was 75.3 degrees. That's the upper water column, the first 18 inches subsurface. Okay? 78.1 at the end of the day. Now, on Thursday, yesterday, I had a full day trip and then a twilight trip. I was on the water from light to dark. We'll tell you all about the fishing in a minute. Great visibility now. The lake is really starting to settle out. 1 to 2 foot visibility in most of the areas that I'm fishing today. I'm now really pushed offshore and even considerably way offshore. Lake level. As of yesterday morning, 403.26, you can see that going back to Wednesday that the lake was falling. We just had some floods again. They had 5 gates open and the lake was falling. Well, about I think 8:40, 9 o'clock yesterday on Thursday, they shut those gates, 403.23, the lake stabilized. We preach and talk about them gates being open makes it tough, and it does. Doesn't mean you can't catch them. They reposition, and they get pretty finicky. A little bit of lockjaw, if you will. As soon as those gates close, baby, everything changes. The grind changes immediately, and those big fish start to set up proper in the places they're supposed to be. And this time of year, we start whacking them offshore. So we're going to tell you all about that again. But let's get to today and on the board, and then we'll tell you about fishing yesterday and today. Today, I only really ended up doing a half a day today. Started at 75 degrees, ended at 77. I'm assuming if we'd have fished till 4 or so, we'd have been in the upper 70s, continued good warm trend. I want it hot. The hotter it gets, this is a cold-blooded creature, but it's a warm water species. So the higher the water temperature, the higher the metabolism, the more often the fish eats. Potentially in 84, 88 degree water, 90 degree water, they're going to eat 2 and 3 times a day. Okay. Lake level, remember it's stable now. That's awesome. So that is staying the same, 403.24. It actually came up 1 point or whatever that little bit is. Now, think of this, though, real quick before I do put this away. The transition here from literally 24 hours is more than 2 or 3 inches of water. From 403.44 to 403.26, that's a good 2.5 to 3 inches of water in 24 hours. Man, that's a lot of water pouring out of 5 gates. When I really realized that, I understand those fish aren't used to that kind of current, and that's the biggest effect. Anyways, we're stable now. So let's tell you about fishing. It's starting to really get good. I'm still starting out with topwaters in the morning. The bite is here today, gone tomorrow. Shad spawn, pretty much done. Again, a little bit of it here and there. Fishing some duckweed, some shallow stuff. I get off that top water real quick. If the wind's blowing, if it ain't right, they're not biting it, and I start to progressively move offshore quickly. I'm still throwing the Texas rig chopstick, B&M chopstick, in the Texas smoke, catching a few, mostly cooker cutters on that. The real deal is we've pushed offshore, and I have found the big fish. They're piled up offshore in very, very deep water, and they're suspending. I'm finding some structure and some wood and trees, sometimes adjacent or in that area, that's helping me get a few of these. Once these fish settle, and it's here, and the temperatures rise, the south wind starts blowing, it's beat down time. It's offshore beat down time. So, had a big fish every day this week, personal best on Monday, PB yesterday in the evening, in the twilight trip with Ed. But let's go to fishing yesterday. Here's what we were doing. Had topwater bite in the morning. I think we caught a few or missed a few. We got onto the V&M chopstick. Then we went offshore with Santone football jig. All right. That's what caught the big fish, the Santone football jig with the Strike King Rage Craw lobster. Okay, you don't have to trim the skirt when you pair that up. It's the pro model that I use with the Santone. 3/4 ounce football jig. Put the boat in about 16, bomb that thing out there and drag it uphill. You're going to really feel a lot. You throw it in the right spot, you're going to feel and find that shell. You get that bite like Ed did today, and you're going to smile because they's biggins, baby. They biggins. Yesterday, I caught the biggest fish of the day. It was about 8.5, almost 8.7, I think. And I tail snagged it. I couldn't believe it. She thumped the jig. The line began to move. I swung, and I thought I had the biggest bass. Well, it was such a fight that there were some moments that I thought drum, catfish. And if this is a bass, this is the biggest bass that I most definitely have ever hooked in my whole life. It turned out I had tail snagged her. I've caught 20-pound carp like that. I have had a few catfish like that in my lifetime of fishing. Never have I hooked a bass like that on a football jig to boot. It was a fight of my life. It turned out to be 8 pounds, 6 ounces, 8 pounds, 7 ounces. Beautiful post-spawn specimen of a Lake Fork biggin. All right. Remember, 4 to 7 pounds is a special. Anything over is a biggin. All right. We're still looking for double D's. Always looking for double D's, but I'll take a biggin every day of the week. All right. The worm bite. I am starting to catch them on the worm as well. And here's what I'm doing. The main worm I'm throwing is the Zoom Magnum Trick Worm. I'm throwing it in 3 colors. Watermelon candy red when the sun's shining, June bug. That's it. All right. When we are fishing a shell bed, I'm throwing that worm on a sandtone piglet football shaky head, 7/16 ounce. If it's shell, this is a nice stand-up presentation. I do dip the tail chartreuse most of the time, not always. If it's a wood area, high dense trees, laid down junk, I'm switching and I'm throwing that on a Texas rig. It goes through the wood much, much better. But I basically take and peg a 7/16 ounce lead or tungsten. So that's almost a half ounce. And I'm using a 4 or 5/0 offset hook in the Magnum Trick Worm. Watermelon candy red are my preferred 2 choices right now. Later on, that will change. In the summer, there's another color that will bring to you your attention when that time comes and they start eating it. In essence, that's what I'm doing. Zoom, Magnum Trick Worm, Sandtone football jig in the Pake's perch with a Strike King Rage Craw, lobster, and then the Sandtone football stand-up shaky head with that Magnum Trick Worm. All right, I've had big fish every day this week, folks. It is the goat lake. Even though sometimes any lake, any body of water can fish so tough, it makes you feel like they're gone. They're not there. They're there. There's more fish in this lake than anyone can ever dream of or imagine. When they do bite, it's one of the funnest places you'll ever see. So remember this, the reason I call Lake Fork the Goat Lake is that 54 of the top 75 biggest bass in Texas come from Lake Fork. And 8 of the top 10 bass, 8 of the top 10 biggest bass in Texas come from Lake Fork. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you that follow. Give me thumbs up if you're enjoying this. Put any questions, comments below you like. I'll do my best to answer. I live in a stick, so I don't always get the email that sends those to me. And I apologize if I'm not answering some of those questions that many of you have sent in. It's not that I have neglected you. I just probably have not got it or seen it. So I apologize, but still do go ahead and put those comments below. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night when I do one last week rundown, which is Saturday, the 30th, I guess it's going to be. I guess we'll see you tomorrow. So thank you so much. Mike McFarland giving you the Lake Fork Daily Rundown.